Welcome everyone. I'm Uzma Afridi, Head of Careers at NABS. And for those of you who are not familiar with who NABS are, we're your support organisation for everyone in advertising and media industry. We're here to help you thrive, whatever the situation. And we're so pleased to be able to put on today's session in partnership with a wonderful team at LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn's vision is to create an economic opportunity for everyone in the global workforce to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. And I'm delighted to be joined by Michelle Davies and Suchita Shah from LinkedIn, who'll be taking you through how to boost your career and your profile using LinkedIn's unique features.
So welcome everybody to today's session. Great to meet you all. My name's Michelle. I've been at LinkedIn for about 18 months now. I work in LinkedIn Marketing Solutions, which is the area of LinkedIn that specialises in advertising and media, those kind of areas, so very relevant for NABS. I lead the automotive category, so very much focused around cars and how that world is rapidly changing and evolving. And I've also got here my colleague Suchita.
Hi everyone, hope everyone's well. My name's Suchita, as Michelle and Usma mentioned. I've been with LinkedIn for 2 years and I work as an executive assistant supporting 2 senior directors, one of them being the senior director for the marketing solutions business, which Michelle also works in. So we have the pleasure of being colleagues. I was actually also going to put in that my kind of career journey was I worked somewhere for 15 years and was made redundant. And actually LinkedIn was pretty much the primary place that I used to search for my next opportunity, which is actually this. So I used LinkedIn and found the role on LinkedIn for this particular role that I now do. I used the referrals, which is something which we'll speak about a bit later, but just wanted to share that as well.
And also from me as well, different situation to Suchita, but I also actually got my role via LinkedIn. I was in another job previously and I received an email from who is now my manager at LinkedIn, just reaching out, wanted to chat. We got to know each other much better, and then at some point down the line I ended up working at LinkedIn for her. So there's lots of stories that we hear very similar to that, so hopefully you can take some of that inspiration as well as what we are going to share with you today. So we've got a really interesting deck for you. We're going to take you through how to be the best on LinkedIn, how to rock your profile, should we say. This deck we'll obviously share with you all. It's quite detailed actually, so it can act as a bit of a playbook. So if there's anything that you don't get answered today, you can always refer to this as well because it's quite detailed. So what we'll be taking you through today, we'll be looking at LinkedIn generally, what it is, how does it work. Then we'll look at how to build your LinkedIn profile, make it the best it can be. Then we'll look at building your professional network, getting that up and running, and then how to use that network to then connect to job opportunities that you need. And then finally, we'll go on to search and apply for jobs. We'll lightly touch on that. And then we'll look at how you can get extra credit and go above and beyond what you're doing already. So first of all, LinkedIn, what is it? It's the ability to help build your professional network and connect to jobs. We've got over 50 million employers are on LinkedIn, and they of course have millions of open job opportunities. So, the opportunity is there. We've got over 740 million professionals in over 200 countries. So there's lots of other like-minded people that you can connect with and start to engage with. And there's also 2.9 million groups on LinkedIn. Sometimes they get a little bit forgotten, but actually groups can be a really great way to discuss with like-minded people again about certain topics that interest you or are involved in your career. And did you know that 9 out of 10 employers use LinkedIn during the hiring process? So obviously we're a huge player in this part of the industry. So it really is the great place to be if you're currently job seeking or looking for a career change. And just some of the terms that we're going to be using throughout the presentation today, these 4 here. So we've got the workforce. So these are the people that are currently working or available for work, either in a specific region, but the LinkedIn vision is to actually create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce, and everything that we do as LinkedIn feeds into that sentiment. Then we'll look at connections. So this is your contacts that you have on LinkedIn, and you can add those connections by sending people invitations, or connecting with people over email via the platform, or sending other invitations out. Then, of course, that then becomes your network. And this is the connected community of people that we see on LinkedIn. And networking, you know, prior to the pandemic, we would do this very much in person. Now we're moving to doing this a lot more virtually, and doing this on LinkedIn is a really great way that you can kind of strengthen those connections. And then finally, referrals. So when you're looking for a job, it's a really great way of actually getting an endorsement is by leveraging referrals from both your network and your connections.
So I'll jump into how to build your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to assume that some of you may well already have a profile set up, but I'll quickly just run through that. We'll talk about what's the difference between CV or resume, as it's said here, a bit American, but yep, the difference is there. Having a photo on your profile is absolutely key. So we've got a few tips to share on that, and then things to actually put into your profile and edit it and actually build it up, so people can see the best version of you online. So setting up your account is really quick and easy. LinkedIn.com on a desktop or on your mobile. And that's how you literally get started. Setup won't take long at all. So that's where you go to set up your profile. And the differences between having your online profile on LinkedIn versus your traditional paper CV, it's a huge difference. As you can see from the slide, this one will reach out to so many potential employers just in one simple go. There's more detail that you can add, which details your skills, projects, interests, certifications, and actually it allows you to put through your personality in your profile. So you can add, you know, your interests, hobbies, and the more detail you put, the better. And obviously being authentic, your authentic self online is brilliant. The profile online also allows other professionals to interact with you. There's lots of ways, as Michelle touched on. You can build networks and then, you know, join groups, posting stories, posting things that you're passionate about, where then, you know, people can interact with you and comment on your posts is brilliant. And then you can also obtain recommendations and endorsements from people you've worked with, who can then obviously vouch for your work, your professionalism, your skills, what you can bring to a role. They're really powerful. So really your online profile is literally a huge way to sell yourself, basically. As I mentioned before, having a photo is so key. So, and actually the stats have shown that profile photos receive up to 20 times, or profiles with photos, should I say, receive up to 20 times more views than, and 9 times more connection requests. But a couple of tips on what you should set as your background photo, or your profile photo, should I say. Obviously we want to see you. You don't necessarily have to dress in a suit as if you were going to an interview. You can be casual. You'll see a lot of profile pictures that are people dressed down, but make sure you're dressing appropriately. It can't be, you know, kind of a picture on the beach with, you know, swimming costume, bikini. So things like that are obviously a no-no and common sense. Smile, have a friendly expression. That's really key as well, and make sure that your face takes up the majority of the frame. And in terms of background, you can have something, but you obviously don't want lots of people and distracting things in the background. So just try and avoid those type of things if you can. And editing your profile, basically it's your story in your words. Really simple to do it. You have a me icon at the top of your LinkedIn homepage, and by clicking on that you can add profile sections as you go, and you can edit it as you want. You can put in your location, your education, previous work, previous volunteer experience, and actually it's been found that any volunteer experience that you have is really, really good. I think profiles that show things where you volunteered also add more colour to your personality as well. So if you have got those things where you have volunteered, definitely worth mentioning. And you can change what you want as you go. This is very much an ongoing process. So I would always suggest keeping your profile up to date and editing it and kind of refining it as you go. Moving on. Your headline is really, really, really key. It's an opportunity to show not only who you are and what you do, but it's just adds the interests. And there's a couple of things to bear in mind. If this is the only thing someone sees, what does it say about you? Does it represent your professional brand? Does it show that you're unique? Does it capture what a recruiter would care about? So those three key things, think about those when you're writing your headline. And they can be punchy, they can be short, sharp, witty. If you have a look at other people's profiles that you may already know once you join and you can network, I'd definitely suggest having a look through profiles and getting a flavour and a feel for what other people have done. And if there's something that captures your kind of interest, maybe use that and build on it for yourself. We've got your summary, and it's the best place for you to communicate your professional brand and put your own spin on it. A really, really quick and easy trick: 1 to 2 sentences about who you are, 3 to 5 sentences about your experience, top skills and key passions, and 1 to 2 sentences about your future goals and how other members can engage with you. And make sure to include a summary of at least 40 words, because those words will come up in search boxes and results of other members as well when they're networking. So that will again be a means of you broadening your network. So use keywords.
So now we're going to move on to building your professional network, and what does that look like? So how do you build it? How do you discover existing people that you already know? How do you search for new connections? And how can you expand that network strategically to meet what you're trying to achieve? So did you know that 50% of hires result from a personal connection? So this isn't just applying for jobs, this is actually your network and the connections that you know, and actually building that network together and help using that as an asset to help you then actually acquire a job. So you can see here a kind of visual demonstration of the power of networking, and you can see that there's these degrees of separation on LinkedIn. We have 1st degree connections, 2nd degree and 3rd degree. And you can understand that by actually speaking with those that are in your close network, who may actually be connected to people who are slightly further out in your network, you can use those people and help, and they can help you to actually get closer to the people that you need to know in order to get that role. And when you reach out to people, don't forget that you can customize your invitation. We often find that when you're reaching out to someone that you don't actually know, there's a much, much higher chance of them accepting your connection request if you include a short note in your invitation. And if you're trying to discover your existing connections, think about who it is that you already know. You know, I'm sure on the platform already, you'll probably have friends and family. You'll for sure have current and former colleagues that you've known throughout your career. And then you'll also have your current and former managers. And that's a really great place to start and create that base that you can then begin to grow from. And searching for new connections. So we've got the search function that you'll see at the top of the page, and you can use that in many different ways. You can type people if you know their name, or if you want to look more at certain companies, if location is important, or depending on how granular or your type of job role is, you can also search by keyword. And like I said before, when you click connect, it always works much better if you actually add a note to your invitation. And when you're writing this note, try, like Suchita said earlier about your profile, try and be authentic and genuine, and actually explain why it is you want to connect. And that's then going to help that person understand the reason for you wanting to connect, and then it won't seem as faceless. And then think about how you, once you've got that base, think about how you then want to expand your network more strategically, and think about who you should reach out to on LinkedIn. So it could be a common interest that you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be aligned with your job role. You may have a particular interest in other areas, maybe charity work, volunteering, diversity, and try and reach out to people who have similar interests to you. Thinking about your career and the type of role that you're looking for, perhaps look to connect with people that are currently doing that job or work for a company that you're interested in. And just think about, what should I say? Explain to them who you are. Probably it would be good to say how you found their profile, and think about how they can help you, and potentially vice versa as well. There could be an exchange there of something that you could offer them.
So we're going to move on to our next section, using your network on LinkedIn to connect to opportunity. We've talked about messaging a little bit, but we're going a bit more deeper into that. Asking for informational interviews is always brilliant. How you request referrals, request recommendations, and add value and engage. So it's another did you know moment. LinkedIn members are 4 times more likely to get hired at companies where they have connections. So it's, again, the power of that network that you'll end up building on the platform is so important. When we talk about informational interviews, these are basically reaching out to people and requesting their advice to help you build out your own search and learn more about industries you might be interested in, and a specific company you'd like to work for, and establishing a professional bond. So there's an example just kind of in the screenshot there, where again it's a really quick and simple in-mail, and then just asking if they'd volunteer their time to have a very quick chat to discuss the area, and that tell them a bit more why you're interested. And that can be really, really powerful. And actually a lot of people are really responsive to that. Who doesn't like talking about what they're doing? And obviously if they're on LinkedIn, it's a good place, they're there to help. So hopefully that can open some doors as well for you. Requesting referrals. So if you reach out to your connections where you may have already worked, or connections that are companies that you intend to apply, they can be really, really powerful. Again, for me, I have a very, very close friend of mine that works at LinkedIn, so asked him for a referral, and obviously that has led to an interview and a successful offer. So that's been really, really powerful as well. Make sure you also let them know why you're interested in specific roles when you do connect to someone who you're asking a referral for, and your appreciation for the connections consideration is always really, really good to put across. And another fact, more than 60% of the workforce has referred someone to work at their company. Obviously that speaks volumes as well. So that's really, really important to bear in mind. When you're requesting recommendations on LinkedIn, basically you can take someone's connection profile, click more, and then request a recommendation. And then, as it says, you can select your relationship, indicate whether you've worked with them, and then customize a message to them. In terms of who you should ask to recommend, as Michelle mentioned, current or former managers is always good. Current or former colleagues, even those that may have been outside of your team. You obviously build up networks across and outside of your teams as well, so they're really powerful. And maybe people who may have mentored you or advised you professionally, including training programs. They're always very, very useful to use. And then adding value and engaging with your network. It takes time, so invest time in your connections and requests, and actually be quite strategic with it. and when you're requesting informational interviews. Like and share things that people in your network will care about on post. So if you see someone that's posted something, hit the like button, always good. Join groups is really, really key, and engage with insights and school with school program alumni. They're really good. So thinking back to if you've been at university, college, any of those institutions, build those networks and join those, because again, you could have doors open from there. And then equally give testimonials and recommendations to others. That in itself gives back and will again create that cycle of someone hopefully giving you recommendations to others as well.
So looking now at search and applying for jobs on LinkedIn. So we're only going to touch on this lightly today, because actually in 2 weeks' time, we've got another 30-minute session, which is dedicated to this and how to actually search for jobs and interact with recruiters on the platform. So we'll touch on it lightly now, but there is more on this to come. So the first thing that you can do, if you haven't already, is show recruiters and other people in your network that you're open to work. And you can do this by updating your profile picture, by putting the little frame on there. And that just shows to everybody that sees your profile on LinkedIn, whether it be through you interacting or them searching for you or your connections, they're going to know that you're actually available to work. And that's a really clear indication.
Okay, very quick and easy. You can use the search filters to find jobs by keyword, job title, company, location, function, experience level, date posted. But as Michelle mentions, there'll be more in-depth info on that. I'll hand back to Michelle.
Thanks. Sorry, I had a bit of an internet issue there, just a little blip there. So what you can also do is create search alerts. So these alerts can mean that you get notified when jobs become available, and you can add certain filters into this. Again, things like keyword, job title, company, location. It can really be quite granular depending on how specific the role is that you're looking for. Obviously, you might want to keep that quite broad just to see what's out there in the market, but that's a really great way to actually understand what's available. And then finally on applying, so apply actively. So use the easy apply or apply on company website button to quickly apply for those jobs that you want. And this allows you to stay on top of your job search by using the LinkedIn mobile app, and you can find jobs anywhere you like at any time. If you've got some spare time from going place to place, have a quick look on there.
And then there's some extra things that you could use and build your profile on LinkedIn. They really will help advance your career. So you can get quite a few in-demand skills by using LinkedIn Learning. You can explore schools, you can explore alumni, you can join groups, and obviously there's privacy settings, so you can kind of, that's an important one to call out. So we'll just run through those very quickly. So LinkedIn Learning is huge for soft skills, and honestly, you can find I've looked up some courses just to like fill gaps in time and learn how to play the basics of the piano. And my daughter used it to learn how to draw cartoon characters. So there's so much on there, but equally, aside from the fun type of courses, there are obviously ones that will help you develop your critical soft skills, and you've got the virtual collaboration tools on there as well. So there's something for every type of learning you'd want to pick up on, and it's really powerful. And you can visit opportunity.linkedin.com to start developing your skills for free. We have also got, oh, my slides have gone a bit sticky, apologies, let me move on. As we mentioned, joining groups, you can find and join groups of professionals and give and get career help and resources by filtering from groups using the search bar. And as mentioned again, think of joining groups in the industry, maybe in industries you're interested in, just to get a feel and kind of understand the areas a bit better. Join the groups from your previous schools, universities, educational institutions, any training companies that you may have used. They're all really, really valuable. And again, you can search and filter by using the search bar. Then we've got the privacy settings. So obviously, if there's things that you want to change, you can do that and, you know, kind of set it to your own preferences and manage it all. So very easily done. Once you've created a profile, you click on me, and then you've got settings and privacy, and then you can change many things there. Language you use on LinkedIn, change your password, control your notification preferences, and obviously privacy is quite an important thing in this day and age. So everyone has different levels of privacy they'd like. So really important to call that out. Oh, a good one. What's the single biggest thing you think makes a difference to standing out on LinkedIn? Ooh.
I think what can help you stand out from potential other candidates is by really adding some detail to your job experience. Some people tend to make it feel a bit like a CV and just explain what they did at what role. But if you try and actually explain how that added value to your role and actually what did you achieve, not just, you know, I did this task or I completed this project, but what was the outcome of that project, that tends to work really, really well to help understand and demonstrate the value that you've driven. We've got another one, Suchita. Do you think it looks bad if you accept all requests on there and aren't selective?
It's hard. I think if you're going to be strategic, then yes, by all means, you know, be kind of specific about who you do connect with, and think about, is that connection going to help you? Is it going to add value for you and your like opening opportunities for you, advancing things that you may be interested in? I mean, what does tend to happen, you do get lots of connection requests, but I don't think there's any harm in being strategic about who you accept and who you don't. You've got to make sure that it's going to be a right connection for you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And don't forget, whoever you connect with, that will then reflect the kind of content that you start to see in your LinkedIn feed. So if you're connected with loads of people that you don't really know very well and they're not really relevant to what you're trying to do, then you'll start to see the content that they engage with reaching into your feed, and it might not be the best experience. So we would say try and be relatively selective when you are deciding who's going to be in your network, because then that quality aspect will remain. And then finally, privacy. Does it have to be set on public, or can you put it on employers only? So when you actually enter into the job search function and you can flag yourself as being available for work, that will not appear to your current employer. It will only appear to those potential other employers that are out there.
Yeah, and obviously you have got the framework that or the frame that you could put around your photo, the open to work, but obviously that's obviously making it very public that you're open to work. But yes, the privacy does allow you to just set it so that only recruiters can see, and not anyone else.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. That was a whirlwind of understanding LinkedIn, but really helpful in simplifying down some really important key sections. Thank you to Michelle and Suchita. I really hope that you've really found the talk beneficial. If you'd like to explore how we can help support your wellbeing in your career, check out nabs.org.uk as well, where you'll be able to find details about our advice line, coaching sessions, talks, and much more. Do please take the time to fill out the feedback form so that we can understand how today has supported you and what other services we can continue to do. Please join us, and thank you again to LinkedIn. Take care.